Friends, I welcome you again to our today's session. Friends, in previous session, we are discussing various allowances. And in fact, we are discussing various components of salary. And you are aware of that salary consists of various things like salary consists of wages, perquisites, allowances, bonus, gratuity, all are various elements of salaries. And coming to allowances, we have already covered a number of allowances are already covered. Let me just share the screen and let us see what are the allowances we have already covered. And few more allowances are still there. You have to learn that thing. So today is the second session on allowances, but this is the fifth session under salary chapter. Friends, in the previous session, if you recall that all these allowances were covered, is it not? What is allowances we have understood? We have also understood there are some allowances which are fully taxable. There are some allowances which are partly taxable, and there are some allowances which are fully exempt. If you look at your screen, you can find out the list of allowances which are fully taxable. Just have a look at that. And we have already done some exercise on that. Is it not? So if these are the allowances which are paid to an employee, then they will be fully taxable. You see, there are 13 allowances are listed here. And we have also understood how this house rent allowance will be dealt with. That means how much will be taxable, how much will be exempt. And in that context, we have also learned how to use the calculator, which is provided in the Income Tax Department's website. I hope all of you are comfortable in using that calculator.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? So friends, today, in fact, we are going to learn these special allowances, which are covered under section 10, section 10, 14. And there will be some allowances which are fully exempt. All these things we are going to learn. Okay, so fully taxable allowances, you can once again have a look. These are the 13 allowances which are fully taxable. Okay, so we have discussed all these things in detail. And some exercises you have done like this. This is, in fact, the calculator for house rent allowances. We have learned how to use it. In the previous session, we have seen it, and also recorded video is available. You can, if you want, you can see once again. These are the exercises we have done. Okay, now, today, the second part of allowances we are going to learn. Right. Now, here, first of all, we'll see some allowances where exemption does not depend upon the actual expenditure. That means here the exemption is fixed. How much you are spending, that doesn't matter. Earlier, we have seen some example like traveling allowances, etc. And we have seen that amount spent has got some role. Let us say you have received a traveling allowances of 10,000 rupees and you are spending 8,000 rupees, then this 8,000 rupees will be exempt. Is it not? So amount received and amount spent, whichever is lower, that amount was exempted and the balance amount was taxable. Suppose you are receiving 8,000, you are spending 6,000. The 2,000 rupees is taxable if it's a traveling allowance. Is it not? But here we are talking about a list of allowances where the exemption does not depend upon actual expenditure. So these allowances are covered under section 10.14.2, and we have to also read the rule which is provided under section 2BB2 of Income Tax Rules 1962. So I think you know how to read income tax rules also. I'll be showing you in appropriate time. You already know. But today also we'll see how to refer to a particular rule. Now, first allowances under this category is children education allowance. You might have heard of this allowance. This is covered under section 10.14. This is given to the employee for children's education. It includes children's tuition fee also. How much is exempt? As you can see, minimum of 2 items are there, of which the lower amount will be exempt. How much is exempt? Can you read out the first item?
100 per month per child. Maximum of 2 children.
And second? Point two.
Actual
Allowances. Now, friends, try to understand. So, minimum of a rupees 100 per month per child, maximum for 2 children. You have to calculate. Then one more amount also you have to calculate. Or we have to find out what is the actual allowances. So among them, whichever is low, that is exempt. The balance amount is taxable. As you must have observed, that actual expenditure is irrelevant here. You might be spending 3,000 rupees per month. That doesn't matter. How much is exempt? Rupees 100 per month per child. That's it. Okay, actual expenditure is irrelevant. But however, there is one more section, 80C. You can refer to that. Their children's tuition fee, one can claim as a deduction. That's a different story. Deduction is a different story, but now we are talking about allowances and how it will be taxable. And if it is children education allowances, as you know, rupees 100 per month per child, or actual allowances received, whichever is lower, that is exempt. And here, when we talk about child, 2 child, maximum 2 child, here child includes stepchild and adopted child. But it doesn't include an illegitimate child or a grandchild. Okay. And this can be claimed separately by both the parents. Father can claim, mother can also. Okay, so now you have understood here, one employee can claim max of 2. How much? If it's one child, then 1,200. If 2 children, then 2,400. Father can claim 2,400. Mother can also claim 2,400. Is it not? And you have seen the actual expenditure is irrelevant. Did you understand this provision?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. Now, if you have understood this thing, here is a question for you. Take a piece of paper and try to solve it. You are ready with a piece of paper?
Yes, sir.
The question says, the following children education allowances are received for Mr. X. Compute taxable amount. So Mr. X is having 3 children, Tom, Dick, and Harry. He is receiving children education allowance for Tom 300 rupees per month, for Dick 880 rupees per month, and for Harry 90 rupees per month. And expenditure he is incurring per month is 1,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees, and 400. So 1,000 rupees, 500 rupees, and 400 rupees for Tom, Dick, and Harry respectively. Can you find out how much is total exempt, how much is taxable? Try. I'm giving you 2 minutes time. Well, friends, now tell me what is your answer? How much is exempt and how much is taxable? Question is asking you taxable amount. Quickly, please tell me what is your answer. Then let us see.
So the actual expenditure is irrelevant over here. So am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Please continue. Actual expenditure is irrelevant. That's true. And
So
this is a
the
very
actual
simple question. Now, friends, let me show you the answer. Can anyone tell me what is the answer you have arrived at?
Yes.
Quickly tell me the answer. How much is taxable? How much is exempt?
And the amount received is receiving for his 3 children.
How much is taxable? And how much is exempt?
The maximum 200 will be like exempted because
No, no, I
it
want the
won't be
amount.
100
Tell me the
per
amount.
month
Tell me the
per
amount.
child
You
as
see,
well.
try to see. Question has clearly asked you compute the taxable amount.
So
Have you can you tell me what is the taxable amount? Okay, let me show you the answer. Now you see. First of all, see children education allowances received. How much is received total? Have you calculated? Total you see received 300
rest
plus
of-
80 plus 90 into 12, 5,640. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Then how much is exempt?
The 2,400.
2,400. Here there is a try to find out there's a catch in the question. Not 2,400. Exemption will be, you see, once again go through the provisions. What is said? Rupees 100 per month per child or actual allowances. Actual allowances received in first case 100 rupees, more than 100, one can claim 100. Second case, it is not 100. So maximum one can claim 80 rupees. Third case, maximum one can claim 90 rupees. So that is the catch in the question. And as an employee will definitely try to get maximum benefit. So he will claim 100 rupees here for term and 90 rupees for hiring. He will not claim this exemption for day because maximum 2 children he can get. He will not be claiming it for day. Did you understand? So this
Yes,
is
sir.
this was the catch in the question. That's why I was insisting that all of you should do it. So exemption will be 100 plus 90 into 12, 2,280. So consequently, the taxable amount will be 3,360. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Understood why it is not 2,400, it is 2,280. Got it? Okay. Now you see, there is one more allowance.
Yes, sir.
What is called as
Actual amount has to be. Yes, sir.
yeah. So now the next allowance we are going to learn is children hostel allowance. Here, if you read it out, this is the allowance which is given to the employee to meet children's hostel expenditure. The exemption amount is minimum of rupees 300 per month per child, and here also max up to 2 children. Maximum of 2 children. Or actual allowance, whichever is lower. That is exempt. And the balance will be taxable. Here you can also observe the actual expenditure is irrelevant. Child includes stepchild, adopted child, but it doesn't include illegitimate child or a grandchild. And this allowance also can be claimed. That means the exemption can be claimed separately by both the parents. Father can claim, mother can also claim. If children education allowance, come hostel allowance is given, then the limit can be 300 rupees plus 100 rupees, 400 rupees total. 300 rupees is for hostel allowance and 100 rupees is for education allowance. Understood this provision?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So here you see 300 or actual allowances and maximum for 2 children. And if it is children education allowance plus hostel allowance, the 300 plus 400. 300 plus 100 total 400. Okay, friends? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If that is so, I think now you'll be able to solve this question. And this time I want correct answer.
Yes, sir.
The following children hostel allowances are received by Mr. X. Compute taxable amount. X is having 3 children, Tom, Dick, and Harry. The amount received per month is 100, 1,000, and 200. Expenditure incurred is 1,000, 1,500, 1,400 respectively. Compute taxable amount. This is about hostel allowance. Okay, you have done, then tell me the answer.
The total taxable amount would be like 9,600.
Let us check it.
Yes, sir.
Total allowances received is 15,600.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no doubt about this. What is
Yes, sir.
exemption?
Sir,
Exemption can be,
300.
yes,
Yes,
right.
sir.
300 plus 200
Yes, sir.
into 12, so 6,000.
Yes,
So
sir.
you are 100% right that the taxable amount is 9,600. But in the meantime, you must have understood where there is a possibility of committing mistake. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that kind of mistake should not be repeated in exam. Silly question, you may feel that you have done correct, but you have
Yes,
already
sir.
seen how mistake happens.
Yes, sir.
Now, friends, you see, let me take you to income tax department's website. Let us see how to use the calculator relating to this children education allowance. Okay, just give me a second. Let us visit there. You know the website, that is incometaxindia.gov.in. So I'm sharing the screen with you right now. This is, if you go to this site, that incometaxindia.gov.in, you can find out the home page. Okay. So you are already aware that if you can go to Income Tax Act by clicking here Acts, rules are also here. You can refer to rules here. In appropriate time, we'll see how to read these rules. And Income Tax Rules 1962 is relevant for us. Here you see tax calculators are there. You can also click here tax tools. Here also you can find link for calculators. I'm using this link here, tax calculators. If I click here, you see various calculators are there. And are you finding children education and hostel allowance calculator anywhere?
Yes, sir.
In the previous session, I had already shown you this rent-free, house rent allowance. House rent allowance, HRA calculator we've seen, but now we are using this children education and hostel allowance calculator. So let me click here. And you see here there is two of this is the calculator, how it looks. You see it shows children's education allowance is one calculator. Okay, here two calculators are children education allowance, hostel expenditure is one more calculator. So I request all of you to visit to Income Tax Department's website and make yourself familiar with this. Let us say first case. First we'll do this children education allowance. Let us say education allowance received. I'm taking the figure. 1 second. Let us say I'm taking the figure as just a minute. Let us say first I'm taking for the first child, he's receiving 1,000. For second child, he's receiving 2,000. System is working a little slow. Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. It is quite slow. Okay, you can put the figures. There's a number of months. Here I can put, let us say 12 months. Here also I can put 12 months. but it is not reflected. System is very slow right now. After putting the figures, you can click here. Let's say 12 months, 12 months. Okay, how much is exempted you want to know? How much is taxable you want to know? Now, if you calculate, if you click here, then it should calculate. We see you have calculated here. Okay, so how much is exempted? You see total 2,400 is exempted. Are you able to see it?
Yes.
So 100 rupees per month per child, maximum 2 children. Okay. Similarly, you can try the other calculator, hostel expenditure. Let us say monthly hostel expenditure received here is 1,200. Here, let us say it is received only 200. Okay. And you know how much is exempt? 300. Okay. Here I am taking 12 months. Here also I am taking 12 months. Just a minute. Yeah, 12 months, 12 months. You have seen it. Now let us calculate it. So ideally, what should have happened? You know 3,300 per month means 3,600 and 3,600. So 7,200 should be exempted, but instead it is coming 6,000. Can you tell me why it is 6,000?
So they are taking the minimum of the
Yes, here 300 rupees will not be allowed.
The minimum of the two, which is the actual allowances received for the second child, that is 200. Why should they calculate?
Yes. So for the second child, you are getting only 2,400 exemption, not 3,600. Is it not? Is it not? You are getting an exemption
Yes,
of, okay. So the total figure comes to 6,000. So if the second child will be receiving more than 300, let us say it's receiving 400, you see exemption will be 7,200. Let us calculate now 7,000. Are you seeing it? Okay, now you see it is 7,200 because the now second child is receiving more than 300, so 300 rupees per month is allowed. Hope you have understood this concept. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, I think that allowance is over. Let us move ahead now. Just a minute. Yeah, these calculations are over. Now, next, children education allowance and hostel allowance we have covered. The next allowance that we are going to learn is, you can read it here, air hostess allowance, truck driver allowance, or any kind of transport employee allowance. So these are the allowances given to meet the personal expenditure during running of transport. So how much is exempt? If you can see here, minimum of rupees 10,000 rupees per month or 70% of allowances. Okay, so 10,000 or 70% of allowance, whichever is lower, that is exempt, the balance amount is taxable. So here also you can observe the actual expenditure is irrelevant. And if daily allowances is received, then the above allowances is fully taxable. That means one can claim exemption under daily allowance, which you have already lost, or exemption under this transport allowance. Okay, understood this provision? How much is exempt? 10,000 rupees per month or 70% of allowances. Would you like to do an exercise here?
So can you explain the last line, like if daily allowances is received, the above allowances are fully taxable?
Yes. So, friends, if I have remembered correctly, I had explained you this concept when we were learning daily allowance. Now let me go back and let me show you what we have learned when we are learning, when you are already learned about the daily allowance. Just give me a second. Yes. Daily allowance. So this is the allowance given to cost to meet the cost of daily charges on account of absence from the normal place of duty. How much is exempt? A minimum of actual allowance received to actual expenditure income. That is exempt. Okay. And yeah. So if someone is claiming exemption here, minimum of actual expenditure received, actual expenditure income, then he cannot claim again transport under this transport allowance. Understood this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So for transport allowance, we have transport employee allowance. You have to remember that minimum of 10,000 rupees per month or 70% of allowance received is exempt and the balance amount is taxable. Okay, so let us do an exercise here to understand this concept. Let me take this example here. Are you able to see it now? Let us say amount received for annum is 96,000. Let us say 96,000 rupees is received. How much is exempt? Two limits I told you. One is 10,000 rupees per month. It comes to 1,20,000 or 70% of amount received. So 70% of 96,000, it comes to 67,200. So whichever is lower, what is lower is 67,200 is exempt. And how much is taxable? 28,800. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let us move to next allowance. Now, this is called as transport allowance. The earlier one which we are discussing, that is referred to as transport employee allowance. The transport allowance is given to any employee, but this is exempt only for specific category of employees. So this allowance is given, this transport allowance is given to meet the expenditure for commuting between place of his residence and to place of his duty. That means from coming from home to office and going from office to home. That means home, office, home. For commuting between home to office, this allowances are given. There was a time when it was exempted to all kinds of employees up to some extent. But as of now, it is exempt only for blind, deaf, and dumb, and orthopedically handicapped employees. That means employees with which are physically challenged, they can avail this exemption of 3,000. Understood? No exemption for other employees. So conveyance allowance or office home and home office allowance shall be treated as transport allowance. If some other allowance for this purpose is given, that can be treated as transport allowance. Employer may call it as the office home allowance, or let's say home office home allowance, or it may be called as conveyance allowance. But in all these cases, exemption is up to 3,200 rupees, but it is available only for blind, deaf and dumb and orthopedically handicapped employees. Okay, so let me share an example here also. You can call it as a conveyance allowance. Here you can see, let us say I'm taking an example of 3 employees. Is it visible to you? A, B, and C. A, B, and C. Okay, and C is physically challenged. Amount received by A is 24,000, B 12,000, C 48,000. Nothing will be exempted for B, let's say A and B. Okay, but 3,200 rupees per month will be exempted for physically challenged employees. So his total exemption per annum will be 3,200 into 12. So it comes to 38,400. So consequently, for C, a taxable amount will be only 9,600. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This 3,200 rupees exemption is per month. Hope you have understood this.
Yes, sir.
Now, friends, there is also a list of allowances which we'll be learning. They're called as special allowances. Well, friends, here is again a list of allowances, a list of special allowances, which are exempted, but the exemption doesn't depend upon the actual expenditure. So as you can see, I'll be showing you a table with so many rows. You can see the first row is about the name of the allowance. Then you can see place at which this allowance is exempt. Third column is saying about extent to which allowance is exempt. Okay, so you need to watch it on the screen. First, you see any special compensatory allowance in the nature of special compensatory allowance, like hilly area allowance, high altitude allowance, uncognizable climate allowance, snowbound area allowance, avalanche allowance. Okay, so these are the list of some allowances I told you. And it is not exempt everywhere. It is exempted only some specified places. And the specified places are some areas of Manipur, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. So in these areas, as you can see, how much is exempt?
800.
800 rupees per month. And if the similar kind of allowances is given in the area of Siachen, okay, Siachen area of Jammu and Kashmir, and the exemption amount is not 800, it is how much?
7,000.
7,000. And all other places, the same allowances are given all other places located at a height of 1,000 meters or above sea level, 1,000 meters above sea level. That means they're located 1,000 meters or more above sea level, other than the places specified in 1 and 2. 1 and 2 means the specified areas of Manipur, Arunachal, and Sikkim, etc., which you are seeing here. So except these areas, if it is given at some other places, which is located at the height of 1000 meters or more. Okay, then that means up to 9,999 meter, no exemption. But if it is 1000 meter or above, then how much is exempt?
300 per month.
300 rupees per month is exempt. Understood? And here you take care that it is hilly area allowance, not hill allowance. Okay, it is different. Now you see. Then one more type of allowance you can read here in the first column. This is any special compensatory allowance in the nature of border area allowance, remote area allowance, difficult area allowance, or disturbed area allowance. If this kind of allowances are given to some employees in the specified areas of Little Andaman, Nicobar, and Nicodem Islands, North and Middle Andaman, throughout Lakshadweep, the Minicoy Islands, all places or north of the demarcation line, Himachal Pradesh, Mizoram, Jammu and Kashmir, UP, Sikkim, then 1,000 rupees, 1,300 rupees per month will be exempt. Okay. And the similar kind of allowances are given in some places, and installations in the continental shelf of India or exclusive EEZ, that is exclusive economic zones. So in those installations, if these allowances are given, then 1,100 rupees per month is exempt. And if it is given in the specified areas of, even you see, first of all, throughout Arunachal Pradesh, other than the areas covered in point 1, we have already said, throughout Nagaland, then South Andaman, including Port Blair, and some other areas are also there in the list. I'm showing you in the next slide. But how much is exempt? 1,050 rupees per month. So these are the three areas I show you. Next, you can see throughout this Longjai district, including the area beyond 25 kilometers from Longjai town of Mizoram. Okay, Longlai town. Then Dhamnagar. Okay. The Kailasa, Amarpur, Khowai in Tripura. Then Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh. So in these areas, 1,050 rupees per month is exempt. And in the same allowance is given the specified areas of throughout usual district of Mizoram, Tripura, Manipur, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. 750 rupees per month is exempt. And if the area is Jog Falls in Shimonga district of Karnataka, and specific, and if it is here it is 300 rupees per month. And the specified areas of Himachal Pradesh, Assam, and Meghalaya, 200 rupees per month. Okay, as you can see in different places, different amounts are exempted. Okay, you may not remember all these things, but just have an idea. If required, you can refer to section 1014 in appropriate time. Then you see another type of allowance. Tribal area allowance, scheduled area allowance, agency area allowance. And if it is given in the specified areas of Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Tripura, Assam, West Bengal, Bihar, and Odisha, exemption is rupees 200 per month. The next allowance is any allowance in the nature of high altitude allowance granted to member of armed forces operating in high altitude. So here you have to see for altitude of 9,000 to 15,000 foot, 1,060 rupees per month is exempt. For altitude above 15,000 foot, then 1,600 rupees per month is exempt. Okay. Then compensatory field area
Yes,
allowance.
sir.
Okay. Compensatory field area allowance specified areas of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Nagaland, Sikkim, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir. 2,600 rupees per month is exempt. Okay, if it is given as compensatory field area allowance. Then next you can see compensatory modified field area allowance. If this is given in the specified areas of Punjab, Rajasthan, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Sikkim, West Bengal, then 1,000 rupees per month is exempt. Then one more allowance that is called as any special allowance in the nature of counter-insurgency allowance granted to the members of armed forces operating in the areas away from their parent location. So this is exclusively for armed forces personnel only. And this allowance can be given whole of India, throughout India. And exemption amount is 3,900 rupees per month. Okay. Next allowance you see underground allowance granted to the employees who work in unconditional or unnatural climate in underground mines. It is also allowed whole of India. 800 rupees per month is exempt. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Next you see any special allowance granted to the members of armed forces in the nature of special compensatory high active field area allowance. It is also allowed whole of India. 4,200 rupees per month is exempt. Then any special allowance granted to the members of armed forces in the nature of island duty allowance. If this kind of allowances are given in Andaman, Nicobar and Lakshadweep group of islands, then 3,250 rupees per month is exempt. Okay, so friends, you see, I showed you a list of allowances. It may be difficult for you to remember this thing. I don't feel there is any need to remember it, but you should know that there are some allowances which are applicable to some specific areas. And if employee is working in that area and employee is receiving similar kind of allowances, some exemptions are allowed to. So in appropriate time, you can refer to the appropriate section and find out what is that. Okay, but no need to remember the amount because you see, depending on the places, amounts varies. Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just you can have a quick look once again. So these are the allowances. You see 800, 7,000, 300. You see how amount varies. Then you see 1,300, 1,100, 1,050. Then 750, 300, 200, 200 again. Then 1,060, 1,600, 2,600, 1,000, 3,900, 800 per month, 4,200, 3,250. Yeah, that's all. So amounts are different depending upon the type of allowances and where it is. Okay. Understood? So these are some allowances that we are learning where where the exemption doesn't depend upon the actual expenditure. You have seen that the fixed amounts are allowed as exemption. Fixed amounts are exempted. Okay. Now, friends, having covered this, now we'll enter into an area where we'll be learning allowances which are fully exempt. Okay, so let us see the list of those allowances which are fully exempt. Now you see, first allowance under this category is allowances given to Supreme Court or High Court judges. Any allowances paid to a judge of High Court or Supreme Court under Section 22A2 of High Court Judges Conditions of Service Act 1954 and Section 23(1)A of Supreme Court Judges Salaries and Condition of Services 1958 respectively is not taxable. That means here we are discussing about those allowances which are given under the provisions of these sections of the relevant acts. So if some allowances are given, then those allowances which are given under the provisions of these sections are exempt fully. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then allowances received from United Nations organizations. So allowances paid by United Nations organization to its employees is not taxable by virtue of Section 2 of the United Nations Privileges and Immunities Act 1947. So this act will override income tax provisions. So because of that law, so allowances given to these UNO employees are not taxable. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Next, you see, compensatory allowance under Article 222(2) of the Constitution. So this compensatory allowance is set by judge under Article 222(2) of Constitution is not taxable since it is neither salary nor perquisite. So such type of compensatory allowances which are given under this article of the Constitution is again not taxable. Right. So you have to remember this thing also. Next, we'll see sumptuary allowance. This is allowances given to High Court judges or some judges because there is a restriction according to the terms of service. They cannot spend money on their living, on their, let us say, lifestyle, on their dress, etc. Okay, beyond their limit, they cannot spend like this. There is some restriction as to spending money in some areas, and to compensate that, some sumptuary allowances are given to them. So sumptuary allowances given to High Court judges under Section 22C of High Court Judges Conditions of Services Act 1954 and Supreme Court judges under Section 23B of the Supreme Court Judges Condition of Services Act 1958. It's not chargeable to tax. So sumptuary allowance is not taxable. Okay. Next, allowances. Allowances given to government employees for working outside India. So this point also we had discussed earlier at some other point that allowances and perquisites paid by government of India to citizen of India for rendering services outside India. Okay, so if this kind of salary is taxable, that means basic salary is taxable, but allowances and perquisites which are paid to citizens of India who are working outside India are fully exempt. I had given you an example at that point of time. Suppose there is an Indian embassy in Australia and there is an Indian citizen which is employed there and he is paid salary, allowances, perquisites. His salary will be taxable in India because that accrues or arises in India. But allowances and perquisites will not be taxable in India. Okay, but you have to see that the employee is a government employee and the employee should be citizen of India. And he must have rendered service outside India. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, friends. Then allowances to UPSC chairman, Union Public Service Commission chairman, or to retired chairman, or to a member, UPSC member, or to a retired. These allowances are fully exempt. Hope you have understood this.
Yes,
Next.
sir.
Okay. So this is, in fact, with this, we have completed the list of allowances which are fully exempt. Okay. And then there is one more allowance. But that is not allowed. Okay, that's an allowance, but that will be learning when we learn the deductions. You know, under salary chapter, how we compute the taxable income or taxable salary. So all these items, that is a salary, bonus, gratuity, profit of leave of salary, all these things are added. Okay, or you can say allowances will be added to that. Then purchases will be valued, that will be added to that. Then certain deductions will be allowed. So 3 deductions. One is standard deduction. Second deduction is an entertainment allowance, and there is one more deduction, that is professional tax or tax on employment. These 3 deductions are under section 16. One can see what are the deductions. We'll be learning it at appropriate time. That means now allowances are over. We'll be learning purchases. Then we'll be seeing how to arrive at the deductions and what is the tax. But right now, since we are discussing allowance part, let us learn the basics of entertainment allowance. So entertainment allowance we'll be learning in detail when we're learning the deductions. But at this stage, let us see what is that. So this is an allowance which is given by employer to employee to meet some entertainment expenditure. So if you look at here, so you have seen that deductions are there under section 16. So section 16(2) talks about entertainment allowance. And to understand how much deduction is allowed, you have to classify the employees into 2 categories. One, government employees. Second, other employees. As you can see, government employees, what is exempt is the minimum of the following. So first one is entertainment allowance receipt. That means actual entertainment allowance receipt. Second is 1/5 of the basic salary. Third one is 5,000. So these are the 3 amounts you have to arrive at, and the minimum of that thing will be exempt for government employees. But for non-government employees, entertainment allowance is fully taxable. That means no deduction is allowed. Is it clear to you? For government employees, actual entertainment allowance, 1/5 of salary or 5,000, whichever is minimum, that amount will be exempt. So this is again taxable irrespective of actual expenditure, but deductions are allowed on this basis. Is it okay to you, friends? Up to this, did you understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.